Syd was very much a sort of symbol, I think one could say, of the underground. The other Pink Floyd members were rather more academic. He was the most painterly of the group.
It's possible with Syd that he just had images floating around in his head. It's not certain that he would have had an image in front of him. Vision After a Sermon was painted in 1888. We know that Syd had at least some interest in Gauguin because he made one of his typical notes about him in his late notebooks. Syd's painting from 1971 has those shapes and those colours. It's red, white, yellow, and it's very similarly arranged. I think that's a good example of perhaps how he was using his knowledge of art history and turning it into abstract paintings. The Two Warriors piece is rather interesting. It looks rather like a Paul Klee painting, as mosaics often do, of lots of different coloured small pieces of glass, but he's painted underneath the glass to bring out the colour. It's an early 60s piece, but which, interestingly, he did photograph himself later on. It's possibly the only piece he had all his life, or he knew about all his life. Fart and Joy is a good example of how, within the course of a weekend, he could just produce something really rather interesting. When he was young, he certainly was able to just reel off these works which are now considered quite good. It's probably the best indicator of Syd's character as well, I think. It's a mixture of high and low culture. You have a topless model, you have Beatrix Potter, you have Mother Goose. Art school was very much a circuit for music. I'm sure he associated his college, Camberwell, with music to some extent. I think, though, Syd was rather prone to flit about a little, and I think he did rather quickly become so involved with music that art lost out.
In the course of that period, they had gone from being basically a sort of art school band to the Floyd as in its first incarnation, the sort of psychedelic Pink Floyd, with a light show, for instance. The first light show that they had was at the London Free School. Whoever was on stage was not really treated as celebrities or personalities. I mean, there were no moving spots or anything. I mean, the Pink Floyd could quite easily walk down Oxford Street. Nobody would recognise them because no one really knew what the hell they looked like. Because even when they were playing at the UFO Club, and even when you were only 6 feet away from them, they had strange moving blue and yellow bubbles across their face and stuff.
It's really important that there's a better availability of picture, and certainly the paintings which still exist, the colours are vibrant, they're quite clear and clean. To reproduce them in book form will be an important step in understanding Syd's art.
These pictures are absolutely amazing. I mean, they just really do recreate the feel of it, particularly the ones of the UFO Club with the little rail in front. This is amazing. It gives a really good feel for what it was like. It was like just a big social event, like a village fete or something. And the Ali Pali is so gigantic that it was never crowded or anything. They're amazing, actually, really beautiful. They really bring it all back. You had to be there, yes. So.